Alright, we got some Worthington publishing news here. Shipping updates concerning these games. So here is the outlook. Napoleon Returns is shipping between July 1st and 10th. Philadelphia 1777 is between July 1st and 10th. Crusader Kingdoms shipping August to September. French and Indian Wars, same thing, August to September. Chancellorsville shipping September to October. Same thing with Cowboys 2. And Dawn of Battle shipping October to November. And also, coming soon to Kickstarter, launching in June, Battle of the Bulge, 1944, by Dan Fournier. So this is a low to medium complexity game, obviously the Battle of the Bulge. It comes with a thick, sturdy game box, larger game counters, large hard-mounted board, player aid, rules, counters, tray, and dice. And it uses the concept from Holdfast series, but modified for counters. The game plays in under 2 hours. Also, launching in July, by Dream Team Designer, in Magnificent Style by Herman Lettman, the Magnificent Style Pickett's Charge Deluxe Edition. This is a low complexity solitaire game on Pickett's Charge. It's a reprint from the old Victory Point game. You can read more about it on Worthington's page. Click on In Magnificent Style. It's being updated by Herman Lettman, and it will include a thick, sturdy box, large, hard mountain game board with charts on the board, counters, cards in place of the chits, player aids, rules, and dice. The game plays in about an hour, and these guys are incredible. It's just they're going insane with launching stuff. Launching in August, Hidden Strike: The American Revolution by Morris Suckling and Dorian Richard, the mid-complexity game of the American Revolution. It's a card-driven masterpiece for 1 to 4 players. This is what's written here, and a dedicated solo engine. It has cooperative mode plus cooperative with trader mode. I hate those trader games, but anyways, plays in about 90 to 120 minutes. This is all coming soon to Kickstarter. Check out the website, Worthington Publishing. It's so brand new, I've got no information on it except the box art, and it's Hunt the Bismarck. Looks really super cool. This is their old school war game series. And Lee's War, the war in Virginia, 1861 to 1865. You know, I always wanted to be an anchorman. This is why I do this. Because I want to be like, remember the Mary Tyler Moore show? They had Ted Baxter. I love that guy. You know what I mean? And there's an Australian show called Rake, where there's a guy called Cal McGregor. Now that guy's my hero. I want to be Cal McGregor. Ask my wife how many times I say I want to be Cal. You know what I'm saying? And I like when people do their own news type thing, send me a video, and I put it on my show because it gives me a break. I need a break. Look at me. Look at my eyes. I need a break. You know, because guys like Grant and the other guy of the Player's Aid, you know, they put out videos like 2-3 a day. And talking about 2-3 a day, how about 15-20 a day? Huh? Like Jan Heineman of you know, Let's Play History. By the way, I think he's awesome. I still need a break, okay? Look at my eyes. I'm tired. Give me a break. So, without further ado, here's DVG news, which is quite interesting, with Sarah and Kevin Burson of DVG.
Hi everybody, it's Sarah from DVG. Today I'm here to give you a general update of all of our outstanding Kickstarters as well as what's up next. So as you guys know, Battle Pack Wave 1 and For What Remains are on the water, on their way to us, and they should be here within like the next 2 weeks is what we're hoping for. So far we haven't heard anything about any customs holds. Usually they let us know before it even gets to port, as well as I got an email today that they're set to arrive in the EU. So all the European orders are set to arrive at our new fulfiller, Zatu, on the 27th. So not as far behind as normal. So I'm really excited about that. Next Kickstarter to talk about is Battle Pack Wave 2, as well as the Thunderbolt Tiger Nimitz wave, as well as our reprint of Warfighter ETO. They are all set to have their final proofs, so they're like proofs that look like our games, to us within the next week or two, and it's all scheduled to leave the printer by July 15th, which means we should have it by about the beginning of August, assuming no customs holds, no other delays due to world changes. So that's great. And a new update for us by Stealth and Sea. We sent it to the printer last week, super great. They emailed today saying that they can have it done by July 15th as well without delaying Battle Pack Wave 2 or Thunderbolt Tiger Nimitz. So that's great news. We're gonna have all 3 Kickstarters at the same time, leaving the printer around July 15th. So really excited about that. We're gonna get it all done in one big swoop. So what's next for us? What's next Kickstarter in store? Here to tell you about that is Kevin Verson. Come on down.
Hey. So, we have a leader expansion happening here in the next few weeks. That is expansions for Phantom, Hornet, and Israeli. These expansions offer more campaign sheets, new aircraft, skills, event cards, as well as alternate targets.
Alternate targets? What is that?
Alternate targets give you more replayability within the same campaigns you've already played.
How do they do that?
By giving new keywords and affecting some of the stats, so that way you can still play through the same campaign, except now you're playing, instead of with the core games targets, you're now playing with the expansions targets.
Could you give us an example of how that might work?
Well, some targets in the core game may have quite a few sites, a couple of bandits, and may have some keywords, such as scramble or soft or disperse or something like that. However, in the expansion targets, they have different stats, such as they have a huge amount of bandits and very few sites, and it's no longer a scramble target because it's not that big of a deal when you attack it on this day, as opposed to in the core game when you attacked it on a different day.
So it's going to give me a whole new way to play the campaigns I already know and love, as well as 2 ways to play all the new campaigns.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's fantastic. So that Kickstarter is going to launch within the next couple weeks, and it's estimated to be delivered around November. Yes. What's after that? Do we have more in store?
I think we do. Chuck Seegert and I have spent quite a bit of time working on Zero Leader. He has been really great to work with, really fun, and Zero is coming together. At this point, the campaigns and the targets and the aircraft are all put together. We're doing final touches on the event cards and the skills, but we're going to see that Kickstarter coming after the leader expansion.
That's fantastic. Everyone's wanted a new leader game. Now we're giving them a new leader game.
Yeah. Yeah, from a non-American point of view, which is great. You know, now we can start making other leader games from German side, from the British side, from the Italian side. This opens up a whole new corridor for future leader projects.
That's so great. And everything else you've heard us talk about is still in the works, still in the books. It's just we're going to put out things based on how done they are, obviously, and Zero Leader is basically there. Warfighter Fantasy will probably be after that, as well as the other like 4 or 5 leader games we've talked about. Falker Leader, Sopwith Camel Leader, I feel like there's one more.
Abrams Leader.
Abrams Leader.
Yeah.
All are coming up too. We're just seeing what gets done first.
Yeah. We had a choice of Zero Leader or Fantasy. And we thought about it and realized Fantasy could use a little bit more time cooking in the oven, so we decided to put Zero first. However, Fantasy will most likely be the game after Zero, so that way it'll have all the time, all the development that it needs in order to combine Fantasy, World War II, modern day, all within the same rules, so that way you don't need to learn a whole new rule book to play each, and yet it feels different swinging a sword against a dragon and firing an M4 in modern day Middle East.
So that's it for us today. Thank you for watching our update. Please back our leader expansion Kickstarter, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
No, Tell Dan. Dan sent you. Dinosaurs, everybody! Dinosaur table battles a game designed by Tom Russell, art by Will Alambre, the same designer, or I should say artist, who did Escape from Hades. This is a 30 to 45 minute game. It's a 2-player game. Solitaire suitability is high, and the theme is dinosaurs. So, and he says here, this is a game about dinosaurs fighting each other for some reason. Well, I know the reason. The reason is that Mary said she wanted a dinosaur version of Table Battles, and that's that. High-flying dice games and Seeing Red. The Raid on Kronstadt Harbor, August 18th, 1919. This is a solitaire game on the British Royal Navy's raid on the Kronstadt naval base during the Russian Revolution. This is a game designed by Paul Rorba, and what you get with this game is 111 by 17-inch map, 85 unmounted single-sided counters, and a rulebook. Compass Games, a new direction in gaming. Dawn of Empire, the Spanish-American Naval War in the Atlantic, 1898. This is a game, an uncomplicated game centered on the naval aspects of the Spanish-American War of 1898 in the Atlantic Ocean. And what you get with this game is a map of the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea, a battle board, 1 counter sheet, player aid cards, 1 rulebook, dice, and a box and a lid. Complexity is 4 out of 10, solitaire suitability is 4 out of 10, time scale 11 days per turn, the map scale is variable area movement maps, unit scale individual warships. This is a 1 to 2 player game, playing time 2 to 3 hours, designed by Steven Newberg. Decision at Kazarine, Rommel's Last Chance, designer signature edition. This makes the return of a true wargaming classic by Vance von Bories, first published in 1983. Complexity is 6 out of 10, solitaire suitability is 6 out of 10, the time scale 12 hours per turn, the map scale 2 miles per hex. Unit scale, companies and battalions, artillery batteries, or groups. This is a 1 to 2 player game, best played with 2, playing time 3 to 8 hours depending on scenario. And what you get with this game are 2 map sheets, 3 counter sheets, rule books with updated historical notes, 3 player aid cards, 3 order of appearance display cards, 1 6-sided die, and a box and a lid. Nuts Publishing, Fitna, Global War in the Middle East, a game designed by Pierre Razou and the graphics by Thomas Pouchin. And what you get here is a boxed game, a 1A single-sided map, 288 counters, 16 pages rulebook in English, 24-page campaign rulebook, a set of 95 asset and event cards, a set of 5 special joker cards, a set of 2 bonus cards, 7 double-sided play aids, a die, and ziplocs. Fitna, which means schism in Arabic, is a 2 to 6 player grand strategic level card-driven war game depicting the military confrontations in the Middle East since 2012 up to the near future. Strategy and Tactics, World at War issue number 72. The game is Paratroopers. It's a 2-player game, and it features airborne operations from World War II to Korea. What you get with this game is a 22 by 34 inch map and 176 die-cut counters.
Hi, this is Riccardo Masini, and this week's greatest day of history in games is June 18th, 1815, the day of the most famous battle of all times, Waterloo. Here's the general situation. In Vienna, the governments of all Europe were already planning the new world order after the end of the Napoleonic Wars, when Napoleon himself got away from the island of Elba and made a triumphant comeback to Paris. The first thing it did was to ask for peace to all of the great powers. Their reaction was quite moderate. They all declared war. Napoleon's reaction was quite moderate as well. He mobilized a new army and made a preemptive strike against his closest enemies, Anglo-Dutch and Prussian forces stationed in Belgium, before the Austrians and Russians could attack. The two allied commanders, Wellington and Blücher, had made a serious blunder. They had divided their armies, deploying one around Brussels, Wellington, and the other around Namur, Blücher. So Napoleon just inserted himself in the middle, crossing the border at Charleroi, and tried to do what he had already done before in Italy and during the Austerlitz campaign, defeat the enemy forces in detail before they could form up together. It was a daring but quite good plan, and it almost worked. In the two battles of June 16th, Napoleon almost got a decisive victory over the Prussians at Ligny, but Manchiney could only push back the Anglo-Dutch at Quatre Bras. So Napoleon spent June 17th deciding what to do. He sent Marshal Grouchy to chase away the Prussians and focused on destroying Wellington's forces at the new position of Waterloo. We all know what happened on the next day, June 18th. Wellington repelled attack after attack, but was almost beaten when Blücher's forces appeared near Plancenoit. Grouchy had not been able to stop him from joining the Anglo-Dutch, and the fate of the French army was sealed. In a single day, Napoleon had lost his empire forever and would die 6 years later in exile on the island of St. Helena. All of this is masterfully dramatized in a great movie by Russian director Sergei Bondarchuk, Waterloo, an Italo-Russian epic production with tens of thousands of extra, Christopher Plummer as Wellington, and Rod Steiger as a truly explosive Napoleon. As for games, there are literally hundreds of great titles about the 100 Days campaign. And today we'll see one of the newest ones, published together with the last issue of C3 magazine, Waterloo Campaign 1815 by Mark Herman. Waterloo Campaign, the second title, using a system inaugurated by Gettysburg, also on a past C3I issue. That system is the basis for a new series about the American Civil War, Rebel Fury, which is currently on P500 for GMT games. Its main features are simplicity and fast play, and the result is an interesting simulation, a very innovative simulation of operational warfare in the 1800s. In essence, you can move your units on the map as many times as you want during a turn before your opponent passes. But if you get inside the zone of influence, that is 2 axes away from an enemy unit, you must stop. And if you get adjacent to the enemy, that is in a zone of control, you must change to battle formation and fight. Combat is very straightforward. You just an opposite role with modifiers for true quality, leaders, terrain, combined arms, and friendly formation support. As in movement, units can fight multiple times, many times, in a single turn. The loser can be pushed back, eliminated, or routed for a couple of turns before reappearing somewhere else on the map next to a leader. Leaders, or better, HQs, are also essential, since units fight better and operate only inside their command radius. So, with free movement and a very clever alternate and variable activation mechanic, timing here is a bit distorted. You have just 8 turns for the long scenario, but as we have seen, units move and fight many times in a single turn. Space, on the other hand, is represented by a gorgeous map, on a much larger scale and with more strategic options than with the previous Gettysburg title. The result is a very tense, chess-like game of maneuver and concentration of force, the essence of Napoleonic warfare. There are some little issues, and for example, sometimes the combat rules seem a bit too simple and and with dramatic consequences, with just a single unlucky roll, making war corps disappearing for half a day, for example. The game is very different from traditional wargames, so rules can seem a bit odd sometimes, and mostly if you want a very precise hour-to-hour, mile-by-mile simulation of the campaign, well, this is not the game for you. However, if you want a very original and very quick game that very fast lets you experiment with alternative maneuvers and alternative strategic decisions in an absolutely simple and accessible rules environment, well, you love Waterloo Campaign 1815. For me, I've already pre-ordered the first Weberfield game, but I really hope that Mr. Hammond will give us a parallel series with that system for the Napoleonic campaigns like Italy, Austerlitz, Jena, Auerstadt, or even Russia. That's it for this week. See you on the next battlefield. Ciao!
A game for gamers, made by gamers, by Flying Pig Games.
conflict simulation games. And I might say, what awesome timing. A game by Brian Train called Civil Power, which models mass civil disorder, riots, raids, and other violent urban phenomenon. And what you get with Civil Power are two 8.5 by 11 geomorphic square grid maps of an imaginary urban area, 140 double-sided counters, a rulebook, player aids, and displays. The Earth as Their Memorial, the Peloponnesian War Operations of Antiquity Series, Volume 1. This is a game designed by Ray Weiss. Imperial Bayonets, We Were Not Cowards, Sedan, 1870. This game will include a 22 by 34 inch map, 560 counters, several player aids, along with a rulebook, and 2d6. Africa Army Corps Trilogy. This series of games will be part of the Destroy All Monsters operational series World War II system. The World Undone, 1914, Galicia. This covers the Galician campaign using the original or their original system, the CSL original system. Units are division or smaller, turns are 1 day each, and it's a simple, low complexity rule engine, and it makes it possible to simulate the entire campaign in less than 2 to 3 hours. I don't have any more information on that. GMT and Border Ravers, Anglo-Scottish Border Raids, 1513 to 1603. This is a game designed by Ed Beach. Number of players, 4 to 6. Playing time, 2 to 3 hours. The map is 22 by 34 inches, and it depicts each of the 6 historical marches and the no man's land sandwiched between the two nations known as the Debatable Land. What you get with this game is a 22 by 34 inch mounted map, 126 main deck cards, 60 mini deck cards, 90 wooden cubes, 54 wooden sheep meeples, 48 wooden horse meeples, 2 counter sheets, a rule book, book of historical notes, 12 cardstock player sheets and charts, and a 26-sided dice. Complexity is low, solitaire suitability is low. Into the Woods, the Battle of Shiloh. This is the 8th installment of the Great Battles of the American Civil War, published by, obviously, GMT. Time scale, each turn is an hour. Map scale, 110 yards per hex with 20-foot elevations. Unit scale, 50 men or 1 cannon per strength point. And what you get with this game is 1,120 counters, 2 22 by 34 inch double-sided maps, 1 Great Battles of the American Civil War series rulebook, 1 battle booklet, 2 activation and turn charts, 2 player aid cards, 2 terrain effect charts, 2 second order charts, and 2 10-sided dice, blue and gray. Complexity is high, solitaire suitability is high. Series designer is by Richard H. Berg, and game designer is Richard Whitaker. Red Flag over Paris, 1871, the rise and fall of the Paris Commune. This is a game designed by Fred Serval, and what you get with this game is 1 mounted map board, a 60 card deck, 17 wooden blue cubes, 2 blue fortifications, 1 blue Prussian collaborator cylinder, 18 red wooden cubes, lots of political VP markers, a rule book, and a playbook. Complexity is low, solitaire suitability is sky high. Red Flag over Paris is the spiritual successor to Mark Herman's Fort Sumter. Jeff McAleer of the Gaming Gang checks out GMT's Imperial Struggle, a game by Anata Gupta and Jason Matthews. And you know what? It actually works. Because I saw this, I bought it. What do you want me to tell you? And talking about Imperial Struggle, Cody of the Discriminating Gamer is doing just the same. And the History Underground is doing episode 65 of Inside the Home of Andrew Jackson. I'll be interviewing JD from the History Underground June 21st at 7 o'clock. I'll put up a little blurb. And what an amazing YouTube site. It's called The History Underground. And I mean, he goes all over the place. He goes to Europe to visit cemeteries like Henri Chapelle, the American cemetery, the Polish cemeteries. And he also has things where he calls let me see here. I don't want to mess it up. He calls Echoes of World War II, and he interviews POWs from World War II. A man, I think his name is Reed, from getting drafted to boot camp to being a machine gunner in the 7th Armored Division, from France to Holland, and defending St. Vith in the Battle of the Bulge. Also in episode 3, that was episode 1, in episode 3 he talks to a vet who's 101 years old, and in episode 2 he talks to a B-17 bombardier who talks about his 35 missions. I mean, man, this guy... Anyways, check it out. Great stuff. And this week, this is who I interview.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to Centurions Review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. First game we are doing a review of is Dungeons & Dragons Castle Ravenloft, the board game. It has miniatures. It's basically a watered down version of 4th edition D&D, very watered down, but we'll go into the game during the review. On our YouTube channel, we're doing a first look at Table Fables, a collection of tables for the Weary Game Master by Madeline Hale. This is actually really cool. It's got some really interesting tables you can use in role-playing games, and actually probably enough tables for any of your dungeon mastering. It's really well thought out. And we're also doing a first look at Gunslinger from Avalon Hill. My friend let me borrow this. I haven't tried it yet. Just did a look through to see the components and the sequence of play and stuff. Looks really promising, and some of the people have chimed in and told me good things about the game, so I look forward to trying it. And here's a game that probably none of you have heard of. I didn't hear of this game until about a week or two ago. It's Bloody Boona. It's basically a game about the New Guinea campaign from 1942 to 1943. It calls it the Forgotten Campaign. Well, this is the Forgotten game about the Forgotten Campaign. Went through the rules and stuff. Looks pretty interesting. And last thing we're doing a first look at on our YouTube channel is Soldat. This is miniature rules for squad level combat in the Second World War. It looks really well thought out, and it has basically everything you're going to need to do squad level combat. It's got weapon stats, everything, so it looks really cool. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon on our website and on our YouTube channel. Have a good evening.
Stigler! And Stigler for Details has an interview the 14th of June at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, and 4 p.m. Pacific Time. His guest is the great Battle of the American Civil War series rule czar and developer Bill Byrne. Alan Dickerson, people. And the history guy talks about the Rangers and the 116th Infantry Regiment on D-Day +2. And the gentlemen of the Player's Aid are taking a look and reviewing Stellar Horizons from Compass Games. Artie of ARDWULF'S LAIR is doing the great campaigns of the American Civil War, the Chickamauga campaign 3 and 4 in Battle Above the Clouds, and also checks out an unboxing. Actually, he's doing an unboxing on Decision at Kazarine, a game by Vance Von Boris, published by Compass Games. Seek Out and Play has a video on the Captured Oil platform, a video that covers the expansion number 43 of Warfighter Modern Shadow War. And he shows the content of the expansion, the relevant rules, the relevant rules, and provides an overview of what the expansion is all about. Counterproductive Games and his son are playing Sergeants D-Day, Day of Days, June 6th, And the Hugh Hefner of wargames, Todd, the itinerant hobbyist, is doing a Crossfire miniature game live playthrough. Also, Todd and the CEO, Kevin, are back doing Lock and Load Tactical World War II live play. And Liz of Beyond Solitaire is giving a sample turn of Field Commander Alexander from Dan Verson Games DVG. Rough Swordsman Wargamers unboxing a box and a lid in The Gamers Africa, the North African Campaign 1940 to 1942 Indie Combat Series, I should say Standard Combat Series, developed by the Grand Poobah of all Poobahs, D. Nessie. And the man famously known as Enrico Viglino, Calandale, plays Stellar Horizons, a game by Andrew Rader, published by Compass Games. And the man you would never think as a philosopher giving advice, AJ Toynbee, who's a philosopher himself, has in Hexes and Soldiers a factoid number 4. This is a short bio of the Finnish sniper White Death. Also plays Command and Colors, and has 2 episodes on how to create a Napoleonic army the quick and cheap way. JK Wargames reviews the 2nd edition, actually I should say, yes, the 2nd edition of the first Fields of Fire, a game designed by Ben Hull, published by GMT. And GIMPY of the GIMPY Gamer continues his playthrough part 4 of The Order of Vampire Hunters, where another elder pops out to surprise the hunters as they try to finish off the den before it's too late. Wise Guy History's Nathan checks out Maori Wars, the New Zealand Land Wars, 1845 to 1872, an overview and an example of play. This is a game designed by John Paniski and published by Legion Wargames. And also the Wise Guy does Descent into Hell Scenario 5 from Operation Mercury, a game published by Multi-Man Publishing and designed by Joseph Chacon. And Kevin, the CEO of the Big Board, plays Deutsche Afrika Korps 2, or DAC 2, in the morning, a live playthrough. And the CEO has a video on he might change the channel to cats only, I guess. And Jan Heineman, the PC Gamer, has 1 video out so far this week, which is, I don't even know what to say, and he continues his playthrough of Expeditions Viking number 76. Kyle Seeley does a Scenario 2 and recap of Old School Tactical Volume 3 by Flying Pig Games, a Shane Logan design. Tony Kinnear does Clash of Giants, Civil War, Battles of Second Bull Run, and Gettysburg, designed by Ted Racier. In this video he does Battle of Second Bull Run Turn 2. The man who goes by the name of Jeff is playing Invasions Volume 1, 350 to 650 AD. This is a game published by Wisdom Owl, and it's the barbarian invasion of Europe in the Dark Ages. Steve Dolges does an unboxing of War and Peace, a game of the Napoleonic Wars, a game designed by Mark McLaughlin and published by One Small Step. Dad vs. Son plays a Richard Borg game, Command and Colors Napoleonics, and he plays Worthington and Gunsberg. BLASTPOP takes a look at Conflict of Heroes, Monster Tanks of the Eastern Front. Dragoon Commander is learning how to play Et Sans Résultat as David Enstenis, I hope I pronounced his name right, from the Wargaming Company teaches the Armchair Dragoons to play their flagship Napoleonic wargame using Tabletop Simulator. Jana on his Johnny Zero episode 118 talks about the CSR Awards. Charles S. Roberts. And if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about the CSR Awards, I did a in conversation interview with the director of these awards this year, and it's Tim Toe. So check it out on my channel. Hexy Talk and Season 1. Keith interviews Jordan McMullen, who has done Operational Combat Series designs, and also Patrick Mullen, who has a new game out called A Hot Dry Season. Could you believe it? There's an event planned. Compass Expo 2020, November 5th to 9th, 2020 at Comfort Inn and Suite in Meriden, Connecticut, where you'll have Monster Games on Opening Gaming. Monster Games and Opening Gaming, designer-hosted playtest sessions, game demonstration, Eurogames, tournament play, seminars, buffet breakfast, Compass Games exhibitor hours for on-site sales, special attendee discounts, free parking, and just a heck of a good time. It's great to have an expo or a con back. Well, it's time for me to check out the camera that you guys bought me and the mics that STUKAJOE got me. We'll see this. We're gonna go into my studio, right? So I'm gonna try not to make you guys sick, okay? But handling it a bit better. So there you go. We're coming into my studio, which is for men and women, right? That's funny. There's my instruments, music stand. I only got a couple out here. And this is where I spend, I would say, more than half my day. There, I was trying to shoot some unboxing videos. It didn't go very well. I'm going to do it again. Here are a couple of my games. Hey, look at that. The ISO adjusts by itself. Isn't that beautiful? I hope this mic ain't too loud. I hope it's not too close, because I don't like hearing the smacking of the lips and all that, like I just did. That's my green screen. Nice and green. More games, Lock and Load, Flying Pig, Steve Jackson, Worthington Publishing, and this is where I do all the cutting and the filming. And I'm supposed to get a faster processor. This is not an upgradable Mac, but because I know CARROLL Paradzi, who's an IT specialist, he's gonna rig it up for me. I'm gonna get an SSD drive, should make things quick. There's the Player's Aid propaganda, hey, those guys. So, that's more of my games. GMT DVG. And that's it, man. That is all I have to offer in terms of small room. But thank you. And you know what? Since I'm here, another week, another show. Thank you very much for supporting this channel. I'm trying to do the best I can by upgrading everything. Please, if you're thinking of supporting me, do so. And subscribe, like, leave a comment. A lot of people do leave comments, and I really appreciate them. I think I answer all of them. And I hope the people in the States, you guys, USA, I hope you're all safe. Be safe. I'll see you next week.